Hi, ho everyone. My name's Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 137. And in today's video, we learn, Rob is back. He's returned. We learn all about his adventures the past 2 weeks between his sickness, his trip to Florida, his trip back.
I had a pretty traumatic plane experience. Maybe you can clickbait that.
He was living his nightmare.
I seriously thought, I was like, damn it. Like,
Rob got some new ink.
Oh. Yes,
but
sir.
We don't. Okay, well, you weren't. No, the idea.
Well, no, I mean, they can't tell what it is
true.
from that.
True.
I mean, like, look at that.
Yeah, true. We talked about the Xbox Bethesda show. We talk about Jurassic
worst movie
Park.
we've seen in a while.
Yeah, worst movie we've seen in. I didn't say anything. Overwatch 2, big reveals and stuff there. Guess the movie. Yeah, that should be like charades. Like, okay. Like, oh my god,
Velociraptor.
Question and answers, other stuff. You know it. Thanks for watching and listening. We appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
Sweaty sack summer is approaching, and it's time for you to prioritize the comfort of your crotch. That's why the kings of crotch comfort, Manscaped, have been spent 2 years designing the most comfortable boxer briefs out there. I've had the honor of testing these out, and I can say they're the softest fabric of any underwear I've ever worn. So breathable, in fact, you could say it's like gills on my groin. They've trademarked the jewel pouch, so you know it's serious. I think it's time you invest in your family jewels, so let that bulge breathe and get 20% off plus free shipping using the promo code GG at manscaped.com. These boxer briefs come in handy when I'm streaming. Let me tell you, there's nothing worse than wearing a pair of boxers that don't really, let you breathe down there, because at the end of the thing, you just smell so bad. Now I don't have to worry about that thanks to Manscaped's brand new comfortable boxer briefs. Let's say you're on a date and your partner catches the Manscaped on the waistband of your underwear. It's almost a guarantee to raise some eyebrows and act like a billboard for the highway to Pleasure Town. The Micromoto fabric is buttery soft and breathable, keeping your cucumber cool. Walk, run, strut. These moisturizer wicked boxer briefs breathe without breaking a sweat. Easily my favorite part is the tagless waistband. It hugs your body without digging in and lays flat on your skin, which is all you could ever want. So what are you waiting for? Get 20% off plus free shipping with code GG at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code GG at manscaped.com. Once the Boxers 2.0 touch your sack, you'll never want to go back. From cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us where it all hurts. And trust me, it really hurts. That's why I started using Upside. Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out. With every purchase, I'm earning cash back thanks to Upside. With gas the way it is now, I'm actually earning a lot more money cash back with getting my gas. So I'm making sure I'm using Upside every time I'm filling up my tank. To get started, download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play Store. Use our promo code GG and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, claim an offer for whatever you want to buy on Upside. Check in at a business, pay as usual, credit or debit card, and get paid. In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn up to 3 times more using Upside. You can cash out anytime to your bank, PayPal, or e-gift card, or Amazon and other brands. Upside users are earning more than $1 million every week. That's probably why they're a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. Download the free Upside app and use promo code GG to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using our promo code GG.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 137. Long awaited because we have the man, the myth, the legend, the return of Rahabi V.
I'm back from a quote-unquote super spreader event, even though everything we go to are super spreader events that have more than 20 people in it, so relax.
You came back from not only death, but also a convention.
Florida.
Yeah, because we had a week break, and then you weren't there because the week break, Rob and I were dying, and then this week you went to Florida.
Yeah, so I missed the 2 podcasts ago when we had to skip one. Christian was dealing with some stuff, and then I was having like this stomach virus. First of all, dude, God, what a scam the medical field is. Can I tell you that? Like, all the stuff to go, like, all the stuff when they were like, I was like, all right, there may actually be something like wrong with me internally, because they were like running tests and stuff like that, and they were like, oh, it could be your gallbladder, it could be your liver. Let's get an ultrasound done. Get an ultrasound done, unremarkable, of course. And
That's
and
a
I'm
good
talking
thing,
like,
I guess, right?
yeah, like, I'm talking appendicitis and stuff. So I like get everything done. I go see the specialist, and the specialist just like looks at me and goes like, "Yeah, I think you're all right." Like, doesn't really like, just does the little, which is like good, I guess, because like I guess if it was bad, he'd be able to know pretty quickly. But like, we didn't do like any X-rays or anything other than like what your casual doctor visit is. $400 for like
X-ray,
not.
it would have been like $1,600.
Yeah, dude. Like, and then he was like, "We could do a stool sample, but it'll be kind of expensive." And I was like, "All right, never mind. Just tell me I'm fine." So he goes,
Hey, we have to pay our people mentally to look at that poop. All right, it's a lot.
Yeah. So like, and seriously, you just like run a little lab test. Like, it can't be that expensive. Like, it can't be. Like, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
so
Rob, it's not in the rest of the world, pretty much. So
you're right. They kind of cover it for free. So I do all this test. $600 later, they tell me what I know is like, I think I have a virus, like a stomach virus. So that was like awful, dude. It might have been the worst, like, honestly, like stomach. Like, I've had food poisoning and I've had like, I don't know, the stomach flu, but that was like the first time where my muscles in my stomach felt like they were contracting and like pulsating and just like hurting. And then at one point, dude, I was talking about this on the court. You're gonna think I'm ridiculous. So I don't get sick or like anything wrong with me pretty much like ever. So when something is wrong with me, it's immediately worst case scenario. So like 3 or 2 days before I had gotten like sick, I was playing with Willow underneath the covers. She loves when my feet are under a blanket and you just kind of move it around. She loses her mind. Albus likes it too, but Albus kind of like play bites. Willow's out to kill. So, and like I didn't know that. So this is like my big toe, and this is her fang. She literally like goes to bite it, and like I literally feel her like tooth go into my toe and just go like right out. It was like, and I was like, oh. So I thought I had rabies for a little bit, even though Willow has her rabies shot and stuff. I was like, symptoms of rabies, and it's like stomach ache, throwing up, and I was like, man.
I think the thing too about rabies though is if you're showing symptoms, it's almost already you're dead.
Well, and like I was like, I'm gonna go pour a glass of water and see if I'm afraid of it. And I poured it and drank it really quickly. So yeah, I was like, all right, I think we passed that test. So yeah, I was going through like liver disease, like like Lyme's disease, like Crohn's. And then he's like, "Yeah, I just think you ate a bad burrito. That'll be $600." I'm like, oh, okay, yep. I'll make the minimum monthly payments on those. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that reminds me of there was this GoFundMe I recently saw for this guy named Chillin' Dude, who most people won't know who that is. But if you follow the Smash scene,
I saw he had like a stroke or something, correct?
Yeah.
I actually don't know who he is. Could you explain to me who he is?
Well, he's used to be a pro player. He's always been a part of the community. Started with Melee. He's a commentator, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Kind of like a Puckett for the Melee scene.
And not as prevalent like these days as well known, but he's still part of it. But
one of the forefathers, you would say.
Right, yeah, he's up there, yeah. And so the GoFundMe went out about him. And I was like, what in the world happened? And you go to read up on it. He's, I think, 30 years old and suffered a stroke, which just like shouldn't happen when you're that young. Right?
My worst like fear, dude. Like, because that is you're just walking along and it's like,
yeah, stroke. The adverse, and like even if you survive a stroke, the amount of people that like come out of it with like life altering stuff is scary. So what ended up happening was his like parents or something had tried to call him, couldn't get in touch with him. And see, I was thinking about it too from like my point of view. Thankfully, I have Claire with me. But if I was home alone, it'd be like the same thing. They're like, oh well, he might just be streaming
gaming
or recording, right? Or like me, terrible at checking his phone. So like, okay, well that. Worst. But then like friends hadn't heard from him for a few days or something. So then I think they said they like sent over the police or something. And it's bizarre because if they go over for a like non-response call,
check or something like that,
they can't forcibly enter if no one answers.
Yeah.
But they can just go over but like even if you tell them, I think they like constitutionally or something like can't break and enter to
Unless
like
there's
check.
probable cause.
Yeah, or they look through drugs.
You just plant this.
And so eventually, I think they had one of their friends go over to his place or something and check up on him, and he was passed out in his bathroom on the floor.
Oh my god.
And it
And like, who
turns
knows
out,
how long he had been there?
yeah, so they went to the hospital. They immediately performed surgery. Had him in the hospital. It turned out it started from a knee infection. And apparently he'd been like talking about it on stream or something, like a month or 3 months ago, something like that.
So scary.
And you want to know what's even scarier? He went to see doctors about it. I think they said he'd gone to see like 3 different doctors, something like this, who all essentially told him like, oh, it's nothing, or it'll go away by itself. And so looking back, like that point, what does he do?
Yeah.
You've gotten opinions from different, and then on top of that, first off, it ain't cheap.
I'd be so fucking jaded for like,
right. So like, it's not cheap, and like, let's say you've already gone to you've got multiple opinions. So are you going to spend more money to maybe just get the same thing, and then boom, stroke.
And like my mom, because like I was asking about like, because like I went to urgent care and stuff, and like that was expensive, and my mom was like, whatever you do, don't spend the night in the hospital. Because she told me like a night in the hospital with insurance. So this is like with my mom's insurance. It's still about like, with my mom's, it's like still like $2,000 a day. Without insurance, it's like tens and thousands of dollars a day to be in a hospital. And that's not even just like, that's if you're just like at the ER, not like super omega ER that you just had a stroke type of thing. Like that is insane.
And so the reason he was on GoFundMe at that point too was he came out, didn't have the right insurance. And I think the hospital's eventually like, yeah, we're probably going to have to kick him out. Minus the fact that they also told him he's like still unconscious, I think. He came to a little bit, I believe, but he now needs open heart surgery. And he didn't have the proper insurance. So we're on GoFundMe trying to raise money so that somebody can get a life-saving...
That's what it is nowadays, dude. Like, that's
sad.
public health care. And it sucks that, like, the community and normal people have to bail people out rather than the government that has trillions of dollars that go into missiles.
It's
like, it just doesn't. Yeah. So like I learned that the hard way, learning about, you know, it was insane. Like I went to like urgent care, and like that urgent care visit was like $400. And like, I needed to know what was wrong. I can't imagine, like, that's why like I have white coat syndrome. I think that's what the lady called it. It's like you just have a fear of doctors. I was like, I don't have a fear of doctors. I was like, I have a fear of debt and being in Yeah, I was like, I have a fear of never ending cycle of being in debt. And there's this funny GIF, and it was like Americans when the ambulance arrives and they're trying to be forced into the ambulance and they're like fighting all back. Like, yeah.
I'll walk. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
the number one cause of bankruptcy in the U.S. I believe it. Medical expenses.
Oh, I believe it too. Basically, told me I had a stomach virus, ate a bad burrito, that'll be $600. All right, I'll take it, whatever. I was just thankful. Like my biggest fear was appendicitis. That was the one that like I really thought it was, because I kept getting like cramps in my stomach, and like I had never really felt that before with a stomach virus. Like mostly it's just like I puke and like I just can't really hold anything down. But like that's it. This was like painful, but not painful, but more so just like a dull kind of thing. I'll bring this story into GCX here in a second, because I met somebody that truly had like irritable bowel syndrome and had like appendix issues. So that happened, and then off to GCX we go. I asked the doctor if I was contagious and stuff, and so he said no. So I was like, okay, that's good. Like he said, like unless like I share utensils.
Everyone leaves GCX like
Well, like yeah, like it's not like a COVID outbreak; it's a stomach outbreak. Patient 1 right here. So I get to GCX. Okay, so the flight to GCX, bro. You know those plane crash dreams I have, dog? It was like, so like in my plane crash dreams, they're all at night. Never are they during the day.
Because everything's scary at night.
What kind of flight did I take? 11:30 red eye, dude. So we're taking off, dude. And the lady next to me, just goes, I don't do very well with turbulence. I'm like, okay, like I don't know why you're telling me that, but like we haven't even lifted off yet. So we take off, and captain comes on. Oh, we're expecting like a little bit of turbulence here, so we're gonna leave the fasten seatbelt sign. And you know it's bad when like he tells the stewardess to sit down because that's like real shit. So like, I get the worst seat I can have for turbulence. I think at least the wing seat. Now, because with the wing seat, you literally get to see the wings go like this. And then you also are sitting back far enough that people in front of you, whenever there's turbulence, you see. That is like the worst thing for me, dude. When I see everyone else's heads go. So like, I'm literally, so on the right side of the plane, nothing. It's like beautiful starry sky, like looks nice. That's my side of the plane. Left side of the plane, so like the turbulence starts and the captain says that, and the lady like looks at me and goes, I think there's lightning on the other side of the plane. And I go, no, that's probably just like that really flashing light over there. And then I look to my left, and everybody has their phones out, looking out the window over there, because it's just fucking, but not like super close, but far away, but it is going off, like Zeus be really going. So, I've had a terrible turbulent fight in my life where it was like a 9 out of 10. I legit thought I was going to die, and so did my stepmom. It's the only time I've flown over, I'd probably say 500 times in my life. And this was probably like a top 3 worst turbulent flight I've ever had. It was one of those where like, even the whole plane goes, woo, or like, ah, like, cause it would drop. It was pretty bad. It was so bad to the point where like, you know, when you take off and you have a normal ass flight, it's about like, you take off 15 to 20 minutes, you get to 30,000, seatbelt sign is off, you're chilling. The seatbelt sign like didn't go off for like the first hour and a half of the flight. So it was like, and like I'm literally just playing Ocarina of Time on my Switch, just all right, let's get to Jabu Jabu, like literally just like, but then in the back of my head, I'm literally going like, you motherfucker, like this is it, like get ready, like
we've been warning you in your dreams for so long. You had fun.
You told you to take a day flight, because then like it hit me. I was like, boom, boom. Every time I dream I'm in a plane crashes that night, boom. Like I was like, oh my god, the stars are aligning. And then so like the lady that said she was bad at turbulence is literally just sitting there like this. Yeah, just fucking bumping. And I literally have like some smart water with me. I go, do you want some smart water? And she goes, no, I'm okay. And then like takes out another bag, and she goes like, I bring another bag just in case. Like, Jesus Christ. So the flight there, probably top 5 worst turbulent flights I've ever had. And it wasn't like the whole flight. It was like the first hour, but an hour of like turbulence sucks. And it was like not just your normal kind of, it was and then I'm not trying to look ahead and freak myself out. And like what my dad says turbulence is, because he's an airline mechanic, all he says is turbulence is just unpaved road. Like you're just a plane on unpaved road. So that's a way to think about it. And then like the reason like you sometimes go down is because there's an air pocket of downforce, and it just forces the wings down. So finally, also this is my first red-eye flight. So what they say about red-eye, what people don't know about red-eyes is you take off at 11:30 Colorado time, and mostly it's from west to east coast. So you take a flight. I took off at 11:30 Denver. I landed about 5 in the morning, Orlando time.
Perfect.
So, it would have been perfect if I had slept on the plane, because that was kind of my plan. But Frontier seats, bro, suck ass. Like.
But they have the talking animals on the tails, dude.
Not even any. Dude, those commercials aren't a thing anymore.
I know. I was thinking about it. That was at least a decade ago.
That's what I was I was like, oh, Frontier. I was like, the singing, like, oh, dude, the budget they took away from that, it's in their CEO's pockets at this point. I don't know what the fuck that airline does, but like, so I'm trying to explain like okay, so you know, like, a plastic chair that has like just like you're at a fucking hospital and they have them plastic chairs. Okay, take one of them chairs. Okay, I'm in the cafeteria. I sit down and then put one cotton ball, just one cotton ball anywhere on the seat. Okay, there's your cushion, and then put like a coat of leather, like just a bullshit ass leather thing above it. There you go. Now you're sitting Spirit. And what's even worse about Spirit, dude, like I can't explain to you like it. So like this was the fold down tray.
He's holding
Like
up a
it was
Joy-Con
like
for those cards.
yeah, it was literally like so. But then like you have to pay for snacks on that. I'm a United guy. All right, let me preface this.
We are like the
back in the
biggest
day-
hub too. So
Back in the day, my dad, he still does. He works for United Airlines, so I fly standby United. At least I did before I turned 26, and your whole fucking life goes down the drain when you turn 26. So I turned 26, you lose flight benefits. So guess what? You have to pay for flights. And then that was the first time I was like, damn, flying is expensive, especially in today's age, dude. Like, right now, I think it's like 42% like inflation increase on like plane tickets and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, finally land. We're in Orlando 5 a.m. Now I am praying to God that the Rose in Shingle Creek where I'm staying is able to accommodate me at 5 a.m. I asked for early check-in like 2 days before because I was expecting to get in at 5 because my check-in wasn't until like 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Shout out to the people at Rose of Shingle Creek. They're great people. They were able to get me. Well, and then like what was cool too is like Bless was originally supposed to stay with me, but he unfortunately couldn't go anymore. So I had two queen room. And then I was like checking in and she's like, "Oh, I see you have a 2 queen. Like, is someone staying with you? Like, do they need an extra key?" And I was like, "Actually, like they weren't able to come anymore, so that kind of sucks." And she's like,
should have been like, "We got divorced."
We are no longer discussing. So she was like, "Do you want to upgrade to a king?" I was like, hell yeah. So upgraded to a king. So the bed, super bad sheets. I don't know if it was like, I feel like sheets, like the thread count was just low. It had to
we
just
got
be low.
rookie numbers. We got pump those
Yeah,
up.
I was sleeping on some motherfucking sandpaper. I'm telling you, dude. Like, it was not the best of sheets.
Was
so,
it like the equivalent of like 1-ply toilet paper?
yeah, it was just like scratchy and just not that great. So, like, I slept awful the whole trip. So, like, and then another thing, the Kevin and like Broman and all those Rare Drop guys, they were super awesome and hooked me up. They got me like tea times. So, cause like, oh, like Rob likes to golf. Like we don't golf. Like let's give Rob these tea times. So they gave me complimentary tea times. And my dad is in Orlando at the same time as well. And is in my dad's words, totally coincidental. Like I'm not following you. Like this is just kind of when we take our vacation and we wanted to go to Orlando. We've already been here for 5 days. It's just kind of, so I was like, it's cool. Like I have a tea time at 11. So I got to my room around like 6:30. So I only got to sleep around like 3 hours before our tea time. Spoiler, I woke up at 11 and called my dad and said, "Hey, we ain't golfing today. I'll show you around like the expo floor and stuff like that. You can like see the floor." So they came to GCX on Friday and I showed them around the booth and stuff where content was and stuff like that. We met someone at New. Her name is Allison. She was working the booth with us. Super awesome lady. So showed them around. They got to meet like Broman and stuff like that. And my dad was like, "This is so cool." Like, and then he goes like, "Does anybody know you here? Like, have you been recognized?" And I was like, "Dad, you're like in the hot spot of like, yes, this is where people are going to recognize me," type of thing. Like, we're not just like at like the grocery store. You know what I mean? Because I'll literally be like, "Hey, Dad, I'm grocery shopping." He'll be like, "Has anybody said hi?" Like, Dad, I'm not fucking Johnny Depp. Like, all right? Like, chillax.
That's where my demo is. Grocery shoppers. So I got to be on the lookout when I go. Let me tell you.
I think I've said this before. The only times I'm ever noticed in public is when I'm with him. Like, one time we were at AutoZone, and the cashier, I gave him my card, and it was like, Robert Venegas. He's like, "Venegas?" That's like, "Are you Rabby V?" And I was like, "Yeah." And my dad's like,
he's over there actually pogging.
Oh, he fucking loves that shit. Like, so say goodbye to them, and then I have to take a flight to New York to get a tattoo. So I take a flight to get to New York to go
I
get
didn't
a
realize
tattoo.
you. I thought it was around GCX.
No, in New York.
Ah,
I was in New York. So I met Ezekiel and got this done. Like, I'll show it kind of farther back because you can still kind of see it.
it's Pog.
But I actually just took off now it's like I can actually like touch it and stuff like that. So yeah, so I got Erwin Smith tattooed on me by a fan. Like a fan did this. He had reached out to me about like he had messaged me on Instagram about 5 or 6 months ago. And at that point his message was in there for like 3 months before that. Cause I just don't check Instagram DMs because like why would I do that? But then like one day I was bored and you can like sort it from like all requests to like top requests. So the people who have like a lot of followers, I guess, will show up at the top requests. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like whatever. Like, so he was like, yo, like I see you have anime tattoos. He's like, I'm a tattoo artist and like I'm a fan of you guys and I would like be so honored if I could like tattoo you. And I was like, okay. And like I was like, yeah, dude, like let me see your work real quick. And like I looked and it was like basically just these kind of tattoos, but just like bangers. I like black and gray. Like I don't like color, so because I just think black and gray is just it ages better. I don't have to go in there and get like recolored or anything like that. So met him. His name's Ezekiel. Super cool guy, dude. Really, really chill, dude. Loves the Dream Team. Loved our content. Loves it still. Like he says he listens to the podcast and he's tattooing stuff. Well, he did the whole thing where he's like, "Oh, I used to love you guys," and then I was like, and he's like, fucking with yeah. So yeah, so he's like fucking with us, and he was just like a really genuinely like cool dude. Like we just sat there and so I got there around 6:30. He started tattooing at about 7:15 because he has to do like the stencil and all that kind of stuff. I sat in that tattoo chair for 8 hours. We started about 7:15 and I left the shop around 3 a.m. So
trooper.
I really didn't realize it would take that long. But like it makes sense because it looks so good, dude. Like I love it. So and then like next time, we're gonna get Levi on this side. Or I don't know. I was thinking about maybe getting Skinny All Might. Because I think Skinny All Might is super sick. Like sensei type of shit, you know? That's what I like about All Might. You know, like when especially Skinny All Might, when he has to like learn that transition, you know, like, you know, I may not have one for all, or what is it? Is it one for all or all for one? Oh yeah. I always get those mixed up. See, so I might get like a Skinny All Might here or something like that. Because with Erwin, like, he was asking like why I was getting Erwin. And it was basically like, for me, like Erwin is like the definition of like loyalty and like trust and like basically is like a ride or die. So couldn't think of getting anybody better. And then like there's like cool little rocks you can kind of see. So like this up here is like charge, and then like these little symbols is just him like screaming, I guess. And like he went through like this whole like dictionary thing to like say like I promise you this is what it says, like that doesn't say like live, laugh, love, you know, type of thing.
Eat, love, pray.
Yeah, so I got that done by him. Super cool dude. He said he would love to tattoo you one day if you're ever up to it. Because he does make some banger Pokemon stuff too. So like, if there's ever like a Pokemon you ever wanted to, like,
see, I think the last thing I'd put on my body is a Pokemon. That's just I got nothing against tattoos. It's just me. I've got committed. I don't think there's anything I would put on my body that 20 years from now I'd be like, yeah, that was a good idea, me.
So like that's basically
sick.
Yeah. So he does like really insane work. So got that tattoo. Flew back to the hotel. Slept again for like 2 hours because the event started at like 10 that day. And we sold GCX content hoodies that was benefiting St. Jude Children's Hospital, which is really awesome. We showed up with about 200 hoodies on site, dude, and by the time Sunday rolled around, I think we had maybe like 40 left. and it was like kind of like the higher up sizes, like the triple XLs, the double XLs. Because like we had completely sold out of the smalls and mediums, so like all that was left were like large double XL. So we raised like a good amount of money for St. Jude, which was really cool, and got to like meet a lot of people and stuff like that. Got to hang out with Crafty and Dustin and all those guys and Benny, which is really cool. And like I think like more so like because of the whole pandemic, like I really just missed like having the connection of like fan to or like creator to community almost. Because I think like I said earlier when we were talking off stream, like you see down numbers, you see all these like down things, and it's like doom and gloom, like nobody watches us anymore, we're irrelevant. And then you go to that event and it's like people like, oh dude, your content gets me through the days. Like I love GG over easy, you guys are hilarious. It's like those little stories that make me feel like, all right, like what we're doing is still like worth it, and like it still makes an impact that like I want it to make, and it's not like we're just like uploading into like a hole basically. So it was really cool, like meeting a lot of people, stuff there. I went to the convention knowing full damn well I'm probably gonna catch COVID. Like I was like, if I try and avoid it, it's just gonna make like the event way more boring and like not as like interactive, I felt like. So I was like, I'm going to this. I'm in Florida. Like I'm getting it. Like I'm getting
COVID
it.
Central, baby. Woo!
Cause I wore my mask the whole flight, dude. I might have been the only one in that fucking plane wearing a mask. Like, and then like when I came out of the airport, I may have been the only one wearing a mask at the airport. So I was like, fuck, like whatever, like fuck it. Like so at the event had a mask mandate, which was good. So a lot of like the fans and stuff had a mask. And whenever I took pictures with people, I like was like, you can take off the mask if you're comfortable with it and stuff. So if you guys were at GCX, it was awesome meeting you. I really appreciate you guys coming out to the booth. That was really sick. The event was cool. Definitely I feel like a lot smaller, of course, because of, the pandemic and stuff and people still not feeling very comfortable. And like, I totally get that. Because I have seen a lot of people starting to test positive for COVID. And my whole thing is like, why is everybody acting surprised? Like, hey, like, be careful, get yourself tested now. Like, you may have COVID. It's like, no fucking shit. You may have COVID when you go and see the Denver Nuggets play. You may have COVID when you go to the fucking grocery store. Like, I hate this whole energy that, like, this was a super spreader event. Like, you couldn't, like, as if, like, when you bought your badge, you had to have a negative test. So, like, it's not like GCX and, like, Rare Drop didn't really, like, think about any of that. They tried their best just like every other event could. You think they're going to bat 100%? No. Like, of course it's going to slip through the cracks. Like, that's just the world we live in today now, unfortunately. But, like, I'm vaccinated, so, like, I was like, you know what? If I get fucking COVID, I get COVID. I actually don't think I have COVID. I actually think I somehow lucked out or something, because I feel great.
Could be asymptomatic, too.
Well, true. So, I feel great. I should probably test, but like I'm not leaving the house. Like I haven't really done anything. So I'm trying to think what I did Saturday night. Saturday night. It's that bullshit. Hey, let's go to a fucking restaurant that costs $100 where we don't eat enough food. I fucking hate that. Like, I just want to go to like Chili's or something. Not Fogo de fucking Chow, dude. I'm a rant, dude. Fogo de Chow's a fucking scam. Fuck that restaurant.
So expensive.
I hate that fucking restaurant. And why the fuck is it every content creator I know doesn't just want to just go to Chili's? We want to go to Fogo de Chow or Fogo de fucking Money. Like,
you want to go to Chili's, dude? That's when we're at PAX South. I'm like, hey guys, we go to Chili's. Everybody's like, what? I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
it's cheap.
Dude, I love that.
It's close. Well,
like,
I was trying to think, what were you at that event? I'm trying to think.
No, the one where you and Lupo and Goth and stuff?
No, I wasn't saying that. No, there was one. I'm trying to remember. There were some, those who shall not be named that were with us at the time. But I think we just like went to Chick-fil-A. And that was
yeah.
Yeah, and instead for like $50, we got more Chick-fil-A than you could ever want.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, easy.
And
we're all vibing and chilling.
Yeah, I hated, like, I fucking hate, like, they're like, we're going to Fogo de Chow. I'm like, oh my God. And, like, I hate buffets because I try and not eat to the point where I'm like, that's not comfortable for me. Like, that's not great. I'm also not like a meat, like, ooh, like, what is it? what is that rare over there? Like, ooh, I like that. So like I get like 3 things of like different kind of meats, like a chicken leg and then like some sausage. And then like I ate a salad because I'm trying to eat like some greens in my daily life. And I get a Coke and like that was great, but that was like
$200.
It was like $6 Coke because it was in the bottle, which I like a good Mexican Coke, but like I don't get like
not $6.
Yeah, it was $6. It was
For them,
$6.
it was probably like 20 cents.
Probably, yeah. Like it was ridiculous. So I think that bill at the end of the night, because I got a Coke and whatever, like you had to pay for your plate. It was like $89. Like it was like, and then I walked out of there going like, man, I'm hungry. Like,
Wait.
so I just like, I hate this whole like, oh, we're at an event, let's go to a fucking steakhouse. Like it's always that. Like I don't get it.
I like the part where let's go hang out with mutuals.
Yeah.
But not the at some 4-star hotel where everyone here it looks like they're ready for a business meeting, and then we got Joe Schmoes over here. Who are just, it almost feels like they're peacocking, some of them, you know? Where it's like it's like, hey, look what we can do, even though we're gamers.
Yeah,
It's like, please, we don't.
I don't get it. Like there's no shame in my game, like just being like, hey, let's go T-Bell. Like there's a Chick-fil-A right there. Like I could have eaten like
every day.
So Ezekiel, when we were getting tattooed, I paid for us to have like dinner, and we got Chick-fil-A. We DoorDash it. It was like $40. Okay. That was half of what Fogo de Chao was, and that
20 of it was probably delivered.
And that Chick-fil-A was delicious. Like that was like the best meal I had while I was there.
I'm finna act up and get some Chick-fil-A.
So yeah, that's my rant about steakhouses, and like they are just a fucking scam, and I hate them. So Sunday rolls around, sell out on the hoodies, or not completely sell out. Sell the hoodies. Also, if you're listening to this podcast, today is the last day you can actually buy the GCX hoodies. You can buy them online if you're interested. All profits go to St. Jude Children's Hospital. I'm trying to think of anything. Oh, so Ezekiel, who did my tattoo, is going to look into having a booth next year at GCX, and he's going to be doing some Destiny tattoos.
I say that would definitely.
So the tattoo, like he's like, yeah, we could like tattoo you at the event, and I was like, that'd be so sick. So the tattoo that we kind of talked about was, he's an OG, so obviously it was Hawkman was brought up. Classic. But I've had this idea of like, especially like with him and how good he is, like I think like, you know when Thanos snaps and like everybody flakes away, I would want like a Hawk Moon somewhere on my like leg or something like that would be like flaking away, like as if someone had like snapped it away, dismantle. Aha. Yeah.
Let's just say, Robbie, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, or that would be hilarious.
It'll be immortalized if you do.
Yeah, so Sunday. Okay, so like Sunday night is like the big advanced GG party. Like woo, like Peter. Shout out Peter. We love Peter. He like rented out this huge space, like offsite at a bar. And dude, I was so fucking exhausted. I think it was like 7 o'clock. I went to bed. I was like, dude, I'm not coming. Like I told Benny, I was like, I'm not coming. Like it was literally like, I'm dodging. Like nope. Well, because then my flight the next morning was took off at 6 a.m. So I had to be to the airport. I got to the airport at like 4. So my flight boarded at 6, took off at like 6:45, or that's when the doors closed. So so I wake up around 3:30, Uber to the Orlando airport. The Orlando airport might be the worst airport in the fucking world. It is. And like, it's not like it's the staffs. They're just so short staffed, like everywhere, that like, so I had to check my bag because I'm a pleb. So, anybody that's working at the airport, I feel fucking hates their lives and wants you to hate their lives just as much as they do. Cause like, I walk up to the dude, I'm like, hey, is this where I check my bag? He goes, you go over there. I go, what? And he goes, you go over there and you print the badge. And I go, okay. So now I have to go wait in another line to print my check bag. So and then I finally get it, and I go, okay, like where do I go now? Like I'm in a fucking treasure hunt show. Like I'm like, just please
The
like point me
Amazing
in the
Race.
direction. Because I'm like, oh, do I go into this line? He's like, no, this is international. I go, okay, I'm not international. He goes, okay, then you check it in that line. And that line was like the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride, apparently. And dude, it was like an hour wait to check my bag. Like they had 2 people working the counter. That, like, I get it, it's 4 a.m, but like, come on, like get like 3 or 4. Come on, we can't like afford to have more people working airport. Like your Frontier fucking Airlines, pay your fucking employees. So, and these 2 like old ladies who, God, I feel so bad for, are just constantly like going through this line. So I check my bag. That was about an hour process. So now it's like 5:15, and I look at security and it says about like an hour wait. So I wait about an hour 15 through security. I only have like a little sling bag, mind you, at this point, because the carry-on they allow you to carry on Frontier has to be the smallest thing it's this. I literally had this. You can see my Switch charger is still in it. This is all I had. So, and it was literally like a couple t-shirts and my Switch. So, getting through that was just, so I literally tweet out, if you're leaving GCX today, give yourself too much time, like way too much time. And like, obviously no one's awake yet because it's like super early. I get to my gate like 6:15. It just starts boarding. Oh, thank God. Get on the plane. We're off. We did it. Yay. And it was a very smooth flight. No bumps, no nothing. One of the nicest flights I've had. So I finally landed in Denver, and my timeline is exploding off of that tweet about giving yourself too much time. One of the guys Peter responds to it. He's like, my flight is at 8. Like, what is too much time for like? But at this point, I'm in the air, so I couldn't like respond or anything. And somebody has said like they got there at like 7 a.m. It took them an hour and a half to get through checking their bag, and then 2 hours to get through security. So it was like a 3.5 hour process for somebody to get through their thing. And mine was 2, and that's at 4 a.m. So it only just got worse.
I hate airports.
Yeah,
Doors.
like
They stress me out.
yeah.
Because
And
like I do the same thing. It doesn't matter what happens. When I have a flight, I get there exceptionally early to plan for everything. Because historically, whenever I go on a flight, something goes wrong. But it just stresses me out so much. And then there's no in-betweens. It's either I get there early, and on this day, it's like the Red Seas have parted, so I get right through. I'm like, oh, of course. Yeah. So then I'm sitting there for 2 hours to then have my flight delayed another like 7 hours, of course. Or I get there like 3 hours early, and I'm busting through the terminal like, like trying to catch the gate.
Bro, and like when I landed in Denver, it was like 7, 8 o'clock, and I have a new fear of checked bags not getting to your destination. I hear about those horror stories all the time. And the first time I checked my bag, I made the mistake of leaving my car keys in the bag. Also, like, so I'm just gonna illustrate to you. So like I had my sunglasses. Okay, I'm gonna show you my suitcase. So that in case people want to steal my stuff. Yeah. So this is my suitcase, all right? So in this compartment, great, I love it. In this compartment here is where I put my sunglasses. Don't mind that, that's not cum. So I check my bag in Denver, and I go, all right, like thank you, and so like, this is how you would lay the bag down, right? Like you'd think that the dude literally just takes it and goes.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, they just.
Right on my sunglasses. I was just like, oh. So like the next time, like I made sure my sunglasses were with me. It was just like, God, I fucking hate this.
I'm too paranoid. I don't put anything in the bag that I would need to function
if it lost.
Yeah, like wallet, keys,
yeah,
passport, all that stuff.
Yeah, so like when I was checking my bag in Florida, I made damn sure I had my car keys. I was like, because if my bag doesn't make it to Colorado, at least I had my keys to leave. God, dude, and then like the Denver airport is insane at the moment because there's a ton of construction.
Which has been going on for like 8 years. When is it ever gonna end? I don't know.
So the security line was all the way into like the baggage claim. Like it was like at least it was like at least a 2-hour wait if you were at the end of that line. Like I couldn't imagine. But thankfully my bag got here and I got back here in one piece. So that was my GCX story. Appreciate everybody that stopped by the booth and said what's up. It was super awesome meeting fans always. Super awesome just seeing creators too. Like one of the nights, me, Leopard, Dado, Danielle, Carrie, and DRM just sat in their Dado's executive suite and just talked about all kinds of shit. We talked about the Guardian charity games and how much of a shit show that was.
Oh my god, dude, yeah, it was a disaster.
Because Leopard was like basically like, yeah, they asked me and I was like no because GCX had come up right around then. And then it was basically like he had told me that like because you had said there was like the most optimal way of doing it wasn't the most like viewable experience for people. And some teams were like, yeah, we're not going to do that. But then some teams were like, I don't give a fuck. Like
we gotta win, dude.
Yeah. So it was really cool just talking to them. I'm trying to convince Carrie and Leopard to buy a Maine Coon for their daughter. So I just send Leopard every now and then pictures of my cat. Because she said,
just get a little rev split, you know, like just use
exactly.
code RobbyV when you get
use code Rob at Rebel Paws Cattery. But yeah, dude, GCX was super awesome. Wish you were there. I know you were going through a ton of stuff too, and a lot of people out there like were wishing you the best with like your health and all that kind of stuff. Especially on Sunday after they listened to the podcast, they're like, "I hope Fruit's doing well, tripping balls and stuff like that." It sounds like it's at least helping him a little bit. So yeah, I guess. I'm trying to think. I guess Fruit Summit is the next thing.
Yeah, which I recorded a Q&A and putting on Miss Fruit Plays, but yeah, confirmed there, and I guess this is our first real confirmation. Fruit Summit 2 will be happening. It should technically be like Fruit Summit 4 now, but what do you do? Early August, we go again.
That's going to be sweet. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And this time, there will probably either be some sort of like merch fundraiser or live stream fundraising.
Maybe we'll do, you know what we could look into? We could do like a content hoodie or something like that, where we could have like an extended Dream Team content t-shirt and just have whatever we raise from it just go towards paying for the trip. I'll talk to Murray about that or something, if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah, I had a couple ideas. We can throw them around. Yeah, Fruit Summit.
There's a lot of things I want to do. Like one of the things I want to do is I want to bring one of the streaming PCs and have one of the rooms be like a streaming room, but somebody can sleep in that room and everybody can send like media share donations that just blare or something like that. That would just like keep somebody up in that room and everybody has to do it once a night. Like, all right, tonight's your turn. Like to do the media share room. Yeah. Like that was kind of another way I thought about trying to like raise funds to get people down there and stuff like that. But yeah, dude, I can't wait for Fruit Summit.
I was gonna say, people need to remind us if you do like go on the Mr. Fruit subreddit or something, because like I know technically we need to do like the soda testing one.
Yep. Reese's challenge. I'll do another one.
Yeah, there are. I think we might have said like other videos over the past couple years. We're like, hey, we'll do it, but it's been so long. So if we've said that, remind us.
We could do Hot Ones Part 2, I'm sure.
I do want to do that.
I do want to take a foursome out to go golfing. I'll get us a tea time or stuff like that. I think that would be really funny content, especially like, because I'm sure all you suck at golf, and like I suck at golf, but I can like at least hit the ball. You know what I mean?
All right, guys. I got my driver, and then I'll just be on the cart with the ball.
I think it would just be so funny. Like going from like an actual mini putt course to like an actual like golf course and just seeing you guys hack it up. And I'll try and pick somewhere where there's not many houses to worry about.
Appreciate that.
Or just maybe like even just go to like Top Golf or something like that. I think that would be pretty fun. But yeah, so and then we have. Are you planning on going to TwitchCon at all?
Probably not, especially now since it's Overwatch 2 release.
Oh, is it?
Because Overwatch 2 is October 4th, and I think Twitch
What a
is
bunch
like,
of dig. It's like October
TwitchCon
7th.
Yeah, it's like the 2 or 3 days after that. So,
Oh, thanks, Blizzard. I really appreciate that one.
well, and the thing though is like all my streamer friends are pretty much just you guys. I don't really have like any other
Yeah. Well, I'm like
streamer friends or anything, and like no one really goes to TwitchCon for Mr. Fruit, so
yeah.
it's not like people are gonna miss out.
So like October 7th through like, because then my cousin gets married the week after that in LA. So we're just gonna go from San Diego to LA. So I guess I'm missing the Overwatch for like at least a week and a
Missing that
half.
wagon.
That sucks.
Sag.
I mean, what? I mean, from what I saw, it just looks like Valorant 2.0 in terms of skins and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like miss me with that.
Well,
But the game is like okay.
pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
Sweaty sack summer is approaching, and it's time for you to prioritize the comfort of your crotch. That's why the kings of crotch comfort, Manscaped, have been spent 2 years designing the most comfortable boxer briefs out there. I've had the honor of testing these out, and I can say they're the softest fabric of any underwear I've ever worn. So breathable, in fact, you could say it's like gills on my groin. They've trademarked the jewel pouch, so you know it's serious. I think it's time you invest in your family jewels, so let that bulge breathe and get 20% off plus free shipping using the promo code GG at manscaped.com. These boxer briefs come in handy when I'm streaming. Let me tell you, there is nothing worse than wearing a pair of boxers that don't really, let you breathe down there, because at the end of the thing, you just smell so bad. Now I don't have to worry about that thanks to Manscaped's brand new comfortable boxer briefs. Let's say you're on a date and your partner catches the Manscaped on the waistband of your underwear. It's almost a guarantee to raise some eyebrows and act like a billboard for the highway to Pleasure Town. The micromodal fabric is buttery soft and breathable, keeping your cucumber cool. Walk, run, strut. These moisturizer wicked boxer briefs breathe without breaking a sweat. Easily my favorite part is the tagless waistband. It hugs your body without digging in and lays flat on your skin, which is all you could ever want. So what are you waiting for? Get 20% off plus free shipping with code GG at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code GG at manscaped.com. Once the Boxers 2.0 touch your sack, you'll never want to go back.
Well, the cosmetics, I guess we can kind of transition that. Overwatch 2 had their like reveal event, whatever. It now comes out October 4th as a free-to-play. If you own Overwatch 1 before like June 22nd or something, then you'll get like some special founders pack or something. I'm sure it won't be much, yeah. But so it's going free to play. It'll be available on, I think they said all the platforms Overwatch 1 currently is available on.
What were they thinking with saying Overwatch 1 could play Overwatch 2? Like, what were they thinking when
They've all been
that?
making this up as they go, it's for sure. And they're calling it Overwatch 2 Early Access because PvE is not ready. And again, just like most other, especially AAA companies using early access to just excuse a lot of things. They announced there'll be 3 new heroes at launch, but we already know them. It's Sojourn, Junker Queen, who got revealed, and then yet unrevealed, but we pretty much know who it is, Support. Well, let me repeat. That's 3 new heroes.
Yeah, it needed to be, in my opinion, like 6.
It needed to be
around
like,
there.
well, and that's again, someone did the math. We're like 8 to 9 heroes behind where we would have been had they just kept supporting Overwatch 1. And so like I didn't expect to actually be able to catch up to where we would have been, but 3, and then they're going like live service seasonal. So every 9 weeks, there's going to be a new season with new content. First season they detailed would be like a new map, a new tank, something else. Season 2 will have a new support, and then every alternating
I guess there's
season,
technically 4. No, so there's gonna be 3 at launch, but within that 9 weeks of that season being out, there'll be a new
18
tank.
weeks. Well, yeah. So a little over 2 months after release, we'll get a new tank.
Okay.
A little over 2 months after that, we'll get new support, and then every other season will either be a new map or a new hero, which sounds cool. But after those first 2 seasons, that means we get a new hero every 4.5 months. So we'll get 3 new heroes a year going forward. So whatever, we'll see how that works. At the very least, it does look like, because of this and the way they set it up, we'll actually be getting consistent support though, at the very least, like content updates.
Yeah.
3 heroes at the launch, I don't think is excusable. I don't know what they've been doing.
There needs to be way more than that. Like, I don't
Especially
know.
because
Trying to get people excited to play the game.
There's only 4 reworks too. Like we had the Doomfist, Orisa, Bastion.
Eva looks different.
Sombra. They do have the new looks, and they do look cool. Like that part's whatever. It's just content wise, because the other thing too is we're getting like 6 new maps at launch, but we're losing 2 CP, which means we're also losing some maps. So like it doesn't quite balance out. Right. I'm still excited though, and Junker Queen looks cool, and I'm ready for new content. It's just, again, I don't know what they've been doing. As well as they like hinted the PvE release now will come in seasons in 2023. It's not just going to be a drop of like, here's all the PvE content. It seems like it's going to be like, hey, here's a few missions and wait for later mission instead of just. So I don't really know, but I am excited to play and have the boys back on it, and the custom game shenanigans. They're updating.
Sorry that I'm gonna be missing out on that, dude. I guess I'll be there for
two
of the days. So, and I'm sure we'll crank them out. Like, you know what I mean?
Like I'm excited. I know I'm gonna play it a whole bunch, but I can also be disappointed because I don't think they quite delivered on
the 2,
which isn't even. It's been 3 years since announcement. Not even like since they essentially stopped support for like as soon as they announced the Overwatch 1 support was essentially
and
like
they said
Echo
they're completely doing away with the loot box system, right?
Yeah. So there are some upsides, downsides. So it's free to play. They're doing away with loot boxes. They're gonna have season passes now.
I don't like loot boxes,
right.
But
season pass.
They're just gonna find another predatory form of microtransactions.
Well, this is the way it's gonna work. It seems very similar to like how Valorant and people have been doing it. You'll have a season pass, and then you're gonna have a microtransaction store, which I assume will be very similar to something like Valorant. And so people are worried, just because why wouldn't they? They'll follow industry standards. So it's like just like that, Valorant can get away with like, here's a $30 gun skin, and people
not
are like,
even,
what?
Bro. Here's like $100 knife type of shit.
Now, yeah, those are still too expensive, but those are like those really expensive knives remind me of like the really expensive League skins, which has only been like 5 of. But where like it's not just like a new model, it's like new model, animations, it evolved, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Is it $100? I don't think so. I don't actually know the price of it. It's too much, probably.
Like the Yasuo Chibi that Derpy opened, that thing is sweet in TFT.
And the I got all of them except for Yasuo.
Oh really? The ending, like when he kills somebody and the dragon
makes it even
so
worse.
Sick.
Like,
he got that in like he got all the mythics in like his first 10 eggs. He got like the arena,
the other
the
mythic
chibi.
That was like the chunk or whatever.
Oh yeah, the chonker dude. Like
except it's so like
it wasn't even cool. Like I think you were wearing it like the first
out of
game.
rarity. Yeah, like it's not even a cool thing, or like it's not like Yasuo and has, but whatever. So I assume they're gonna do that. They announced a new skin tier, mythic skins, and the first one, I think a new one will come with every season.
Genji.
Yeah, so the first one's gonna be this Cyberpunk Genji, which is sick. It's a cool looking skin, and apparently with mythic, the way it works too is it's customizable. So you can change like color palettes of the skin. You can change like this Genji, for instance, has different like tattoo patterns you can choose from, and you can change the masks and blah blah blah. My thing though is still they didn't seem to say. My biggest thing is especially those skins. It sounds like they want to evolve it. There's a problem too right now. Like some people are saying, it's like I already have like every skin from Overwatch 1, so why would I bother with Overwatch 2 skins?
Yeah.
So I think Mythic's kind of an answer to chase something that's even higher. But it doesn't sound like it changes gun sound effects, gun projectiles, voice lines. Like that's what League does. Because
so it's more so just like people see the skin. Like you don't get to see the skin type of thing.
They mentioned in the video that like they want to focus more on cosmetics you can enjoy from a first person view because that's the game. And so like skins are cool. But a lot of people too realize, like, wait, I look cool, but I don't see that in game.
Unless I emote or something like that.
Right. So, and there are like new emotes, and there's like banner flags. There's a guns, charms. There's, I think they're doing.
Oh, so like gun charms, like what you see in Valorant, where it's like a little keychain.
Yeah, and Apex
hanging
and
off.
stuff. Yeah. And probably something else. But like that's just it with the skin. Like this Genji skin can be cool, and I can customize it. But again, that's for other people to enjoy. That's why I think what needs to change. Like that's what I've always wanted to see was the gun model, for instance, like a mythic skin. It should be something similar to like Apex Legends season battle pass ending weapons that like evolve or like do something cool. And then how with League, different voice lines or voice change effects, and then gun.
Something that's totally different than what you would see like just from a
and I can
reskin.
enjoy as the person who got the skin. I don't think they're doing that. I don't know why. Some of it might be competitive integrity. But my other argument though would be is like, is there a way to make? There's got to be a way to make it client side. So only I'm hearing.
I mean, if the League found a way to do it, can't you? Like in League of Legends, right? Like, say Worlds is going on, World Finals, they can use skins, right? Like,
they can use whatever, yeah. Well, but see, the thing though is, the sound effects and visual changes affect everybody. But so
is Kenan's skin? I saw Kenan got like a world skin. Does that mean like Kenan's skin is all different and stuff like that, like a mythic skin, or no?
It's up there. It's not
okay.
So I think there are ones that I forgot called legendary skins. I think again they only have 5 of those.
Okay.
And they've if essentially stopped making them because they said like it takes too much time. It's too hard to make. A lot of it apparently is just really taxing on the system they're using because they're using old spaghetti code. So it just wasn't really worth it. But so that's how they're going to be doing it. Obviously, new cosmetics. Hopefully, just worthwhile cosmetic. Like if you want to do this, that's just is like.
Is there like an in-game currency that like because like if I played the games and I leveled up, like it would give me like a loot box as I leveled up. Like, do I get like?
They haven't detailed. I have to imagine there's going to be some sort of.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of like gems or.
But I wouldn't doubt though that if you're completely free to play, you won't be enjoying as much stuff as you have been in Overwatch 1 if you bought it with loot box and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's just how they're going to try and make their money. And now, cool thing though is it is free to play, and so everyone's like, "Oh, great, Smurfs, hackers." But in order to connect your Battle.net account to an Overwatch 2 account, you have to link it with a phone number. So that should help.
I'll have you know that doesn't stop in CS:GO Face It. That doesn't stop Smurfs.
But it makes it a lot harder.
It does make it very difficult.
Way less harder than literally just
somebody I knew was like, I need to go ask my mom what her phone number is. So.
But see, good news, you can only do that so many times, right?
Exactly. And then it gets to the point where the Smurf is actually higher than your actual main account. So now it's like.
At what point?
When does it end?
So Overwatch 2 news is cool. I'm excited to play it again. Disappointed by the amount of stuff we're going to be getting. I was really hoping that they'd be like, yeah, and 3 new other heroes we haven't even talked about are coming.
Something.
Unknuckers.
I think we just still have too much belief in the video game industry because if we made games or something like that, that's what we would want to try and deliver. But
and I'm sure part of that is the Overwatch team themselves would have again.
I'm more so saying the higher ups are like,
right.
Nope,
9 times out of 10,
drip feed him. Like that's how we make the money. Shut the fuck up and enjoy your pain. Like
because apparently there have been stuff coming out too that what's also been happening with Overwatch originally in Overwatch 2 development and stuff is Bobby Kotick or whatever like the upper dude's name is.
Is he the new Jeff or no?
No.
Oh, you're saying like the CEO guy.
Yeah. Apparently he was like sanctioning a whole bunch of things where he was just taking talent off Overwatch, making them do different things, and then it like never even came to fruition. But so just management has just been piss poor. Jeff is like this doses.
What's he doing?
He's with some new company.
Is he?
Which reminds me, did you see what Ben Brode revealed? His like new team finally revealed.
Well, I saw like not his new team. I think I saw it a couple months ago. Was this recent then? Like, was this?
Yeah, his game is called Marvel Snap. I don't know if you.
No, I haven't seen that, but I remember him saying like it was like 3 people originally. So he obviously revealed more then?
It's much bigger, but I don't know much about it. But yeah, he revealed he did this Marvel Snap card game thing.
I love me a good card game, and like that's what I kind of told chat when I was playing TFT, that like TFT has replaced my love for card games. Like, so I would love a card game that would like that I could sink my teeth into, like I did Hearthstone. Maybe not as pay to win, but I get that with card games, like you have to pay to play
That's the
type of
nature.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Although Runeterra probably does it best though, as a free to play person.
you're still playing?
Occasionally, but I just know their model in the past and stuff has been very.
I was gonna say, like, I feel
Free-to-play
like
friendly.
card games are just not as meta as they used to be back in the day. Like, there's just nothing that. I mean, I feel like everybody at one point was playing Hearthstone, and now like nobody plays it.
Well, and that's the thing
and
is,
if they do, it's BGs.
well, yeah,
I
but that's the
hate-
thing
I
though is
hate
Hearthstone
BGs.
was the outlier, and everyone's tried to repeat it, but it's almost like Among Us, where like for instance, I was like, oh, some of these people are gonna stick around. No, they were literally just there for Among Us, and so same with Hearthstone. Like, oh, so many people just playing Hearthstone, make a card game. No, they were literally just there for Hearthstone.
Yeah.
And so I think people have been suffering from that. But as far as other news, though, did you see the Xbox Bethesda show?
No, I did not. I actually heard they actually revealed some
Starfield.
good stuff there. I think I
Among
was
others.
I think I was at the convention or something like that when that was happening,
It might have been.
or doing
It was-
something.
I think it might have been Saturday. Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of stuff. It'll be harder because you have no idea what I'm talking about. There's just, excuse me, new game from Obsidian Entertainment called Pentiment that I at least thought looked pretty cool. It's like a choices matter narrative game that looks exactly like
Until
old-
Dawn, Quarry. Type
no,
Of thing?
it's like set in medieval times, and it looks straight out of like the art is like old medieval, like paintings, and specifically like stained glass art or whatever. Looks really cool.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
There is Lightyear Frontier, which I don't think many people were talking about, but for me, it's like this sandbox farming game, but you're in like a robot trailer thing. Most people are like, "What the fudge is this?" I was like, "This looks sick."
Yeah, you
new
love your good farming
Minecraft,
simulators.
of course. Sandbox survival games, problem there. Minecraft Legends, a brand new Minecraft game.
I saw that. That was like, it's like a RPG.
It's like
no,
an action RPG. Not. I don't know.
I didn't see much about it, but I did see that like
It's
it
like
was
a
like a strategy.
Action.
Like,
Yeah.
it looked like all over the place though.
It's action, strategy, combat. I don't know. But that was an interesting announcement. I thought at first when they were announcing it, it was going to be Dungeons 2 or whatever. Oh, yeah. And somebody put a picture of that Pentiment game. Like, that's what it looks like.
Oh really? Oh,
Yeah, it looks straight up like some of the out stuff. Yeah, I've seen it in motion. It looks pretty cool.
interesting. Yeah.
There was this one game that most people didn't talk about, but I thought it looked pretty cool. Flintlock. It's a third-person melee action combat-looking game.
These are all like coming out of Bethesda.
Xbox or Bethesda. Most of them Xbox.
Oh, okay, I see.
And the one nice thing, the whole idea of the trailer or convention, whatever the fudge, was that everything you see will be available within the next 12 months. So you won't have to wait forever for all these titles.
So Starfield's coming out in the next 12 months.
Starfield's supposed to come out. Oh yeah, sometime 2023. I imagine it'll be pushed in 12 months.
I did see something though that it did say like after Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6 will start, and then after Elder Scrolls 6,
This Fallout
5.
5, yeah.
And
So
then I was
Fallout
like,
5 will be when we're
oh, my
kicking the
kids gonna
grave.
love that.
Yeah. No, my kids.
Yeah.
My kids will love Elder Scrolls. Their kids will love Fallout 5.
Yeah.
There was Diablo 4, which looked pretty cool, but right now, me and just about everyone else can't trust them because this
Mhm.
whole Diablo Immortal schemaz, it's like,
Oh yeah, that is. It's. I saw somebody
Bad.
a streamer spent like $10,000 just as like an experiment
yeah,
to
Quinn,
see if they'd get like mythic gems. I guess that is
a
like
5
what
out
the,
of 5 Mythic Gem, yeah.
Yeah, and he got 0. Like he
He-
didn't get a single one.
I think at some point he was like 16,000 New Zealand currency. which is still like over $10,000 or two something. Yeah, it's stupid. And then there are like lockouts for free to play players. So like literally the halts progression stuff. It's terrible.
Yeah, so 16K New Zealand dollars is exactly about 10K American dollars.
So I don't know, look cool, and the game looked cool, but that's just it. It's like, can we trust? And the people are like, oh, well, we made it a game first. Don't worry about that. That's what he said. Literally, there's footage of a developer like 4 months ago talking about Diablo Immortal, where he was literally saying, like, you can't pay for gear or anything that will help your progression.
I don't believe any of those vidocs since like 343s when they were like, oh, the store is like, you can earn these things. Like, no, you fucking can't.
There is an announcement. Of course, everyone lost it. Hideo Kojima. We all love Hideo Kojima. Announced that his next project, he's working with Xbox. Not many details. He said it's something that's never been done before, and he's early in development, but they like just announced it, so everyone's like, whoa, Hideo, I love you.
I feel like I've never played a Hideo Kojima game other than PT. That's the only like thing I've done. So
I'm sure it'll be interesting. Yeah, and I'm waiting to see but that's just it. I guess that was probably, he technically didn't reveal a game, so it doesn't fall under the 12 months because it's not gonna be 12 months. Forza looked cool. I'm sitting there and they're showing things off, so I'm like, racing fans are probably happy. I was like, I got nothing. There was a Plague Tale Requiem. I hadn't played the previous Plague Tale, but now I feel like I have to because the other one looks sick. There was this really cool game called High on Life. And it started and it was like a world premiere or whatever. And I was watching it. I was like, this looks like, I'm like, I'm gonna not $100 says this is made, and like as I'm saying it, like shows up from the creators of Rick and Morty. I'm like, yep.
Oh.
Like your
they
guns,
have like a style that like is...
Well, the immediately like the voice actors and then the humor. Like you go around, it's like a first person adventure game, shooter game. All your guns have like faces and talk to you and are like tripping out. The whole thing looks crazy. Yeah, the whole thing is it's essentially like a trip. Interesting. It looks really interesting though, and like a fun little take. I'm interested to see what they do. Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Let's go.
Got another trailer with no release date.
Okay.
Everyone's like, is this a joke? Like now, however,
I enjoyed Hollow Knight. That was really fun.
Seemingly though, they did give a rough release date though, because if everything comes within 12 months, then we should know it. Then at least within the next 12 months, Silk Song should finally release. I'm waiting until there's an actual release date, and then I'm going to do a playthrough on Hollow Knight. Redfall got announced, which was the Bethesda game about vampires that was delayed until next year.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like a video game.
Yeah.
To be honest, I guess I didn't really have any expectations, and I also came away like, okay. Yeah. I'm about as excited as I was before, which is like, meh.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. And then, of course, they ended the show with Starfield finally showing gameplay. And, you know,
how did it look?
Twitter would eat me alive because they're eating everyone alive. It was very whelming.
Okay. What's that one space game that you really liked and you and Claire played it, I think? And it's almost like you make decisions and stuff like
Outer
that.
Worlds?
Yeah,
Outer Worlds,
something like that. Yeah. But did it look like that? That's what this game just sounds like to me. It's just then I saw this thing where it said you can go into every world and explore every world, and I was like, where the fuck have I heard this before?
So they start off like, we're gonna start with you know, you're in a mission not too far into the thing, and you land on this planet, and that's how the gameplay demo starts. And you get out of your ship and you start walking, and immediately I'm like, we're not even hitting 30 frames right now. This is rough. Environment looked pretty cool. It felt like I was watching Bethesda No Man's Sky. Like HUD looked very similar. They're walking through the world. They immediately like scan the area and then like focus on like a plant to like discover flora. And then I'm like, this looks familiar. And then he literally pulls out like a mining laser tool and starts mining something for that. And I was like,
it's like No Man's Sky, like,
which is fine, but I was just like,
well, no, like No Man's Sky took 10 years to become No Man's Sky though. Well, you know what I mean? Like,
but like I was like, okay, kind of a slow start. And then like some little crab bug shows up and then walks away in 3 frames. Yeah, I'm just being a little salty. It wasn't that bad. But you keep walking down, you're going into this like facility. You go into the facility. You eventually like find some people, you pull out your gun, you start combat, and woof. The best way I can say it is it's Bethesda combat.
Yeah.
Which
they haven't like upgraded their engine or anything like that. It'll just
I don't know if they
look
like, but like it still just looks so janky.
Well, and it's on release date that shit is going to be broken. Like every Bethesda game on release is just the worst piece of trash there is.
But I'm just sitting there like, how do you not have a whole department? You have to have a whole department dedicated to the gameplay, right?
Xbox I bought you. Like,
or like the shooter. I don't know. It just looks so uninspired. So like, this is the initial reveal part of it, and I'm like, I'm not sitting here going like, whoa.
Yeah, wow.
Like this is the Starfield I've been waiting. Right. Like the movement was sluggish. The fly, like yellow jetpack, and the worst part too that no one seems to talk about, the AI looked trash. And I feel like we've talked about this. Like I feel like this is just something the video game like world as a whole has just stopped working on the past like decade is AI. Like they look so stiff and so uninspired, and like you're flying at them and they're not even shooting, and it's just like we talked about, I think when I talked about Deathloop or something, but like I feel like the next gens of video games aren't going to be like graphic fidelity as much, so much so as it is like AI improvements.
Reacting.
Yeah. So like that, it just looked very par of the course.
Like the next gen isn't like, oh, you can go into every room in this building and it'll be unique, rather than like every interaction you have with this person will somehow be unique and not like point you, or like kind of guide you to pick that selection type of thing.
So they show that, and then it cuts, and then it's like, okay, and then blah 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 blah. I will give him the spaceship construction or customization looks pretty cool. You have like different components, and they all give you different stats, and so you end up like making whatever your ship looks like. And then you like fly into space, or they show space, like you can actually fly your ship. Some people are upset because it's not like No Man's Sky where you like lift off the planet and then go into orbit. Yeah. It's like a loading screen, and I'm gonna be honest, that's fine. I didn't.
Okay, you're okay with that?
Yeah, for me it was like it's gonna add a little bit, and I'm sure the resources, whatever. I totally understand. I didn't expect it anyway, and so I think it looked fine. So then they go to space and they show a little dogfight, which also looked very bland. Yeah. And you were always shooting like 1 or 2 ships, and they kept shooting or like cutting to try and make it look more action-like, and I was like, nope, not doing it for me.
I hate when action movies do that, when it's like a fight scene and there's so many cuts, like you can't even like keep up.
It was just it wasn't so many cuts, but they were trying to show like intense, fast action, and you could tell through all that it's like, no.
Yeah. You're generating that like speed type of thing with just the amount of cuts you're putting.
Right. And there were people who were like, dude, this looks sick, and that's cool. But the dumb thing is, I'm not saying they're wrong, but everyone who's like, I don't know, man. Everyone's like, dude, you're a hater.
Yeah, you're just a hater.
What do you expect, man? Like, they do that, and I'm like, I can sit there and tell you exactly what I thought, and that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So then they go on to show, like, cities or whatever. One to the other, like, some customization, like, characters. Show like the classic Bethesda dialogue, like first-person view with characters and stuff.
Yeah. Can you go first and third? Like, do they let you
first and third? Much to people's delight, unlike Fallout 4, you won't have a voiced character now. Because as everyone complained, like, what's the point of role playing if I can't really immerse myself because there's I
never really thought about that, but yeah, that makes sense. I, as somebody who's lazy and just likes to hear, like
they and they like showed some other stuff, and then that was like the final reveal or whatever. Was like And then here we have like 6 handcrafted worlds or whatever for you to explore. But then that's just one galaxy, and then it like zooms out, and then they do the thing, and then there's like, and there's this many galaxies and over 1,000 planets to explore, and immediately that was like, red flag,
yeah.
Whereas everyone's like, yes, this is gonna be so sick, and I'm like, have we not?
I'll believe that when I see it, man.
Yeah, it's like, where have I heard this before? Think about this. Someone had a good point too. It's like, it took Bethesda however many years to make Fallout 4, 5, 6, something, right? And that was not even a planet. Now they have 1,000. So let's be realistic. Most of it's procedurally generated.
Yep.
Which is fine. Whatever. And then what I'm assuming is maybe like, I'm going to be honest, there's not 1,000 different POIs that they've handcrafted for each planet. No shot. Because what I think most realistically...
Points of interest for people wondering what POIs mean.
Most realistically, like when they were showing, like, here's a derelict space station. Here is this city on this planet. What I think it's probably going to be is there's one interesting, handcrafted, really well-developed place on narrative-based planets. And all the other planets are going to be pretty barren. And this was my favorite reply. Well, yeah, most planets are barren, dude. That's just the way it is. Okay, but why do we need 900 something barren planets? It's a video game. I would rather have 6 handcrafted worlds than 1,000 procedurally generated rocks of
same that are going to be the same.
And people are like, and they did show a base building thing, like on planets. You can go down, you can make a whole base, you can like recruit people, get them to do things. That looks cool. I'm a cool base builder, and so you can, I think, do that on any planet. And so then people are like, well, you're probably gonna have to go to these planets for resource collection. Brother, why do we need 1,000? It's just a headline thing. Like, we have 1,000 planets. That sounds exhausting for me. I'm not gonna visit 1,000 planets. Almost nobody playing through that game will probably touch more than 100. Easily, probably.
Yeah, not
and so
even.
For me, that's just to me, like, how many resources went to doing this instead of fleshing out other things. And so for me, that was an immediate like hit the panic button, like doubt. Whereas everyone else is like, yes. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this sounds exactly like No Man's Sky release. And we all know how that panned out. And then again, my favorite rebuttal to that tweet was, dude, No Man's Sky is sick. And I'm like, I said release, buddy. Look me in the face and tell me No Man's Sky release was sick. And exactly everything you were promised and delivered. Oh, wait a second. So now we have Bethesda No Man's Sky. Look, I'm a big doubter. I'm sure their narrative is cool. It's going to be full of bugs, as is Bethesda. But I'm already going in assuming combat is going to be pretty uninspired. A lot of...
It always is.
Yeah, I've never been big on much of Bethesda's combat.
I think the VAC system, or VAT, I forget what it's called in Fallout. I thought that system was cool, and then as I played it in 4, I got kind of tired of it. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, for me, it's just like immersive purposes too. Like, you can do the other things, but like gameplay almost takes me out of it sometimes. Like, it's just so clunky to me. Some people live in that, like, Fallout 4 was great combat to them. Again, what I think some people on the internet misunderstand is this is my opinion. We can all have different opinions, all right? So put the pitchforks down before you're like, well, actually. So I wouldn't even say I'm cautiously optimistic. I will play it on release. I'm setting my expectations as low as possible, and that way, bare minimum, they meet them.
And like, this sucks for me as an Elder Scrolls fan, because it makes me think like, I'd rather have them working on a dedicated Elder Scrolls world, you know, like that map, rather than the 900 barren planets that are probably going to be procedurally generated. Like,
well, and that's the thing is they said it's like, I think Elder Scrolls 6 I think they said like won't even enter pre-production until they're done with Starfield. So we really aren't getting Elder Scrolls 6 for like, but I'm trying to think, like, the gap between Skyrim and then Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be like,
bro, I was
something years probably.
Bro, I was, I think 12 or 13. My friend Connor got it. He brought his Xbox to our soccer tournament because it had came out that Friday of that soccer tournament. We all just watched him play it. That's how long ago it was. I was still in competitive soccer.
So, Starfield was revealed. I was very whelmed, especially because like I've been saying too, like I've been seeing the Starfield doc or Vidoc things, whatever, and I'm sitting here like doubt. And then the reason I had such a big problem with it too is because they start the conference by saying, and for the first time ever, we're going to reveal the most anticipated open world RPG in the last 10 years, easy. And I'm like, I hope he's not talking about Starfield. And of course he is. And then that's the reveal. For me, meh. I'm going to play it. And I hope it's good. But like ship customization, cool. Base building, cool. They didn't really get into much else.
Everything else was
like, yeah,
very mediocre. Or just something we've seen before. Like, you know, like something that's...
Yeah, like they made it...
It's not even necessarily bad, but it's just we've seen this before. Like we've been on this ride before.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. And again, the expectations they set and the way they describe things, and I don't know. So...
can I give you...
I'm still clicking the doubt button on the next 12 months on Starfield too. I swear.
Yeah.
We'll be lucky.
Can I tell you something that whelmed me, and it actually might be the worst movie I've seen in a while?
Jurassic Park?
Yeah, dude, it was so bad. Have you seen it?
You're among friends.
Oh, you've seen it?
I almost walked out.
I saw it last night. Okay, so like I went to super late movie last night just cause. Because I think I wanted to see Lightyear. But they didn't have any showings going on at the theater that I had. So, they were all like at that point. It was like I got to the theater around like 10:15 or 10:50, and like the last Lightyear showing was like 10:15. So at that point, I think I probably would have missed some things. And then
Might
there
also
was
be because they're probably thinking it's younger audience. So
but then I had Jurassic World 11. I was like, oh, I guess I'm seeing Jurassic World.
That's a late movie, Jesus.
Fuck me, dude. And then it's a 2.5 hour movie. It's 2.5 hours. After like everything happens in that movie, I'm like, okay, we find like resolution is like it is just bad. It goes on, like on. Yeah, and like the story is just bad. Like the action was just bad.
Well,
like,
after seeing it, I went on to social media to see, and then people were like, dude, that was so great.
Yeah, what?
And I'm like and so I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even bother posting my things. Like, hey, I'm gonna let him enjoy it.
Yeah.
But that is the first movie, the first movie in a theater I've even thought about walking out in, maybe ever. Like,
I literally was, I was like, I don't care how this ends. Like, I got to the point where it was like, let's walk around the car. Like, a T-Rex is just gonna eat you. Like, why is the T-Rex like sometimes going like, let me smell you. Now I want to eat you. Now I'm going to want to smell you. Like, it's just like, so, and then like the story itself just doesn't make any sense either. Like,
well, for me, it was just, yeah, I was like an hour 15 in or something. And I looked at my phone. I'm like, oh my God. Because so much of it was like, what was the story? It was one of those things too, where at the very beginning, they throw in this huge thing about this girl. I won't try and spoil things.
Yeah.
Like,
I had to know. Was she in the last movie? Was she?
No, I don't think so. Like, I think they added this whole thing. And then my other problem too was it didn't feel like a continuation from Fallen Kingdom. Like, Fallen Kingdom made it seem like it was going to be a world where already like dinosaurs and humans were. It made it feel like it was still very sideline. Like, it felt like a Transformers movie at some parts, or like a Godzilla movie or whatever, where it's like, yo, I'm here for dinosaurs. And we're sidetracking the dinosaurs really hard for a lot of it. And if I have to see this again, I'm jumping off a bridge. Half the movie. And by the end of it, everyone, it's just like, whoa.
I hate that they're just like, hey, stop it. Listen to me. And like, the dinosaurs are like, all right, yeah. Like, all right.
Everyone's just putting it.
And then there's also like no like at no point was I like, all right, someone's gonna die here. There is a pedestrian that gets eaten by a T-Rex, and that was sick.
Yeah,
like that was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
Well,
you gotta eat, like
the thing too is I think it could have been so easy if they just did like Omega Fanfare. They brought the whole cast back from originals and stuff, and they could have like leaned into that.
No, and they have him go on some like weird MacGyver quest.
But we
type
just
of
had,
thing.
they tried to do too much, and I
hated it.
Like the way too is like there are worse movies easily, especially narratively.
Yes.
My problem was, it's like when you're sick and you're so congested and you eat something and you're like, I can't taste anything. That's how it felt watching the movie. It just felt so bland and uninspired and unoriginal. I don't know.
Can I tell you
maybe
my
I had
favorite
too
part?
high hope of hope.
It's a little spoilery, but whatever. Fuck it. This movie sucks. Don't go see it. A plane crash happens, and it's a pretty serious plane crash. And then all of a sudden, you just see them bust it out, and they both like, oh, all right.
Yeah, that could have been worse.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh god, like it's just like you said, so uninspiring and just so. Like, it's like I'm eating a saltine cracker, and then they bring out, like, the appetizer is saltine cracker. It's like, all right, like, I guess, like, all right, sure.
Mouth's really
and then it's
dry.
like your main course comes out. It's 2 saltine crackers now. So, all right, I guess, like. And then for dessert, you don't get anything.
It was.
And then, like, they try and have this big payoff at the end with, you know what I'm talking. And it was just, it just doesn't hit, like, at all.
No,
I was very happy that the movie ended.
The only reason I didn't leave is I was like, I spent the money, and I might as well just see how it ends. No, I was by myself.
Oh, see,
well, Claire didn't even want. She's like, I don't need to go see it.
And I love dinosaurs. You know, like I think dinosaurs are really awesome, and I think like whenever I saw a little baby dinosaur, I was like, oh, cute. You know, but that was about it.
It just didn't have any spirit or feeling of like the original trilogy. Which isn't to say all of them. Like the very first one, I think was probably closest, and I feel like it just kind of
like you're talking about the first Jurassic Park in the '90s, or are you talking like the Chris Pratt?
Well, I'm talking about the original trilogy, but like the first one in this new trilogy, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think was okay, which is why I gave the rest
a shot.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like some people had asked me like, dude, hey, what'd you think? I'm gonna go see it later, and I was like. It was, and then they came out like, dude, that was sick. I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Maybe there's just something wrong with me.
I'm with you, dude. I fucking hated it.
Well, and here's the thing too.
I was tired. I was like, I want to go home and go to sleep.
Here's the thing too is people are probably like, wow, this is like a negative podcast, a lot of negative opinions. That's the thing is I'm usually the like.
You are
if something's like kind of meh, I'll be like, yeah, that was okay. I very
like the Game
rarely,
of Thrones, that would be I think the best example.
Yeah, I very rarely have like a strong like, man, that was rough. And so like, when I know I have those feelings, I know that's my opinion.
And then can I ask you something? I'm gonna avoid spoilers here. So at the end, where the Geonome DNA guy, the long hair guy, is walking in the wheat field and releases said thing, and then a bunch of them start flying. I'm like. What was solved? Like, that's still gross. Like, what? Like, what was solved from that? Like,
I know the answer, but I can't tell you without.
I know that something in the, but like,
I think I don't know. No.
It was just weird. And then like the bad guy, it just wants to be a bad guy to be a bad guy. You know, it's not even like a good reason type of thing. It's just bad movie. Don't go see it. That's I just had to get that off my chest.
That to me is a. At-home watch if it's free.
Yeah. Agreed.
No, I'll say this though. If you came out of Fallen Kingdom like that was sick, you'll probably like it. That's my thing. Like I came out of Fallen Kingdom like, And then this one was even this one was just like.
Because normally when I look at Rotten Tomatoes, I normally side with the audience rather than the critics. The critics have this at like a 30, and then the audience is like an 80 right now.
That's what I'm saying. We're missing something.
Yeah. All right. We can do some Q&A real quick.
Word.
We got a question from Ezra.
Also, I don't think we explained it, by the way. If people were like, wait, Blue's not talking. We don't know where Blue is.
Oh, yeah. We don't know where Blue is. So, yeah. Ezra, also, if you did these questions while I was gone, let me know.
Oh, yeah.
Any tips of people moving away to live in a different city for the first time? Okay. Orange, hey, all question for Blue. Well, Goo Boy. Howdy everyone. What Pokemon region would you want
Did
to
that
live
one.
in the most? Okay. Mob. I'm not going to be super specific because I know you guys aren't political, but how do you deal with close family members who are having messed up beliefs? How do you guys deal with that? I block them and don't ever talk to them. Easy.
We did not talk about this one. What was
So I
it?
have-
How do you deal with family with what different political views?
Yeah, just super like I would say like either side. Like they're just super
Avoid it.
Yeah, I block them and I
don't
just
block
don't
them, but well, the other thing too is I guess I don't have that much family anyway, so it's kind of easier for me. But if I'm ever around them or something, I do my very best to steer it away from any of that.
whatever they just want to talk about.
Because here's the thing, like think about a time where you're like, oh yeah, we talked about it and it ended well. It doesn't. And the thing
it
is,
never ends well.
odds are you also know them and you're gonna know if they're receptive to that kind of thing. 9 times out of 10, most people aren't. Nothing productive is gonna get done. So it's just like smile and wave. Hey, did you see Jurassic Park? Like that. That's how I deal with it.
Whittle says, what is your guys' opinions and what they've been doing with Star Wars live action lately? While the animated shows are great and The Mandalorian, it feels like the stuff they have been producing, it doesn't hit right. Like Kenobi Episode 4, while I love Kenobi, everything about it feels forced. I'm totally with you, Whittle. It's not that
I was persecuted last episode.
You were.
They did like a quick thing about they did like a quick thing about Kenobi and everyone's like, dude, it's sick. And I'm like, I'm gonna be honest. Kind of like Starfield. I'm like, I'm pretty whelmed.
I'm very well.
And they're like, sometimes you miss. Like, dude, it's like, and I'm like,
no, you're hitting. So like, I think the only thing that is like good about the Kenobi series is people going like, oh, that's Kenobi. Oh, that's like Darth Vader.
Right.
But like everything else around it is just so meh. Like the writing is just okay. Like, I felt like it's just, I don't know.
The best way I can put it is like people talk about like Vader comes on the screen and it doesn't matter. I'm like, this is sick. Just because it's Vader, right? Or like, hey, Obi-Wan. But that also doesn't make me not realize the rest of everything that's going on. And so far,
I haven't seen 5. Is that the latest one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the latest
5 was
one.
the best, I would say.
Okay, cool. That's good.
Still had its, oh my God. Okay, I'm going to say this quick little thing. It's not a big spoiler or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but it happens in episode 5. And I think this is what I'm realizing about Star Wars is I just expect something from Star Wars that it's not. And I think it's best to just understand that and just enjoy it for what it is and move on. And so in this case, for instance, stormtroopers are coming. They're going to fight these people. Yep. They bust it down. And these people are stuck in what is essentially a kill box. Some tiny little cave. And there's a squad, like 100 stormtroopers just running in there. Pew, pew, pew. They don't hit a single person. Nothing. Like comic, like you have to watch it to
like
understand. It's not even like, oh,
you can't
it's
suspend your disbelief.
Comically bad. Yeah, like 100 stormtroopers 8 feet away from like a point where it's like you shoot somewhere and you're gonna hit somebody.
Yeah,
nothing. I'm like, this is too much. This like.
Yeah, like even for me, like even in the
comically,
and it's like it's not even like I have to suspend my belief in a Star Wars sense. It's like I just have to suspend my belief in every sense.
Yeah, that
word.
That's not
like,
just Star Wars. Like at any point, I'm like,
yeah, it could have been like any show that had like people missing. But yeah,
yeah, the series as a whole is like my best way is. Why did we need this show? Because I think there comes a point where it's like some people want to see some more stuff, and we've seen it with other things when they do that, it doesn't always work out because I think it needs to serve a purpose. What is the purpose of Kenobi? To just see more Kenobi? But then the weird thing too is Kenobi almost feels like a side character. Especially in these most recent episodes, and you'll especially see in like episode 5, where it's like the reason we wanted Kenobi was Kenobi.
Yeah, and like learn more about maybe Ben than Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, what is he like when he's Ben type of thing? Like,
and I don't know. Between this and Boba Fett,
See, I think
They
Boba
can't
Fett
miss.
was hitting harder than this. Like, honestly.
But that's where it was like Mando was like, this is sick.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, they're
Mandalorian.
hitting it. And then Boba Fett was like,
Well, I think the problem with Kenobi
that's
is like it has these canon guide rails, that it cannot steer off. So Kenobi's never in true danger. You never know. You always know Vader's never gonna.
Leia.
Yeah, like it's just there's no I don't know weight to it.
Well, and then so that like somebody brings up that point. So it's like, what's the whole point? Where are we getting to where we end this, and then we just know in 15 years, Ben's a geriatric hermit who's super scarred and and that's it, and that's where we like. So that's just why it's like, what is this doing right now? And I don't know. So again, maybe I'm being pessimistic.
I'm with you.
I'm still watching it, and the thing is, there are some cool moments.
Yeah.
But that's just it. They're just moments. The series as a whole, and I think that's part of it. Is what I was saying is like, so much of it is corny or just like not played well. But I think that's just Star Wars.
Well,
and the plot holes are so big. But I think that's just Star Wars.
And I'm also just loving The Boys, and The Boys is just hitting on every cylinder there is right now at the moment. So it just anything that's not The Boys right now just is totally not in. Like. Sydney and I watched the newest episode last night, and it was sick.
Well, so I did have this written down, and this just works with it. So, Taika Waititi, I think I always say his name wrong, but he's doing a Star Wars movie, and he's already come out and said no existing characters. Like it has nothing to do with the Skywalker saga.
Good.
And that is music to my ears.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because
you have everything to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the other part of it too. Star Wars is supposed to be this giant thing. The Republic apparently lasted for like 20,000 something years, and we keep focusing on like the same 50 years on the same stupid sand planet. I swear to God, if his movie starts like in a distant past where nothing, all this stuff happens, pants down Tatooine.
On Tatooine.
Like, oh my God.
On your favorite.
Like, I get it. It's probably really cheap to just do Tatooine. You just go in the middle of the sand. But yeah, it's
very whelming. I agree with you. I'm with you. You're not alone. You don't miss. You're hitting here.
Well, and for me, what should have been such an epic moment, and it's been such a big build-up, and something we wanted to see, without spoiling much, whatever, and obviously it happens, so like not much of a spoil. But the first time Vader and Obi-Wan meet for what is a long time in the movies, and for us, I feel like this is going to be some huge epic thing, and it was cornball, yo.
Yeah, it was very corny.
So corny, especially like the whole action scene. Like that's what between the Boba Fett chase scene, I feel like that's where I started to really go like, this feels weird. And then all these Leia chase scenes, and then we had the stormtroopers shooting, and then we had the Vader Obi-Wan. It just feels like,
yeah.
I feel like 90% of your effort should have been put into this moment, because this is the moment, the payoff. We want to see this, and it was like, that was it. What?
Okay.
And then not to talk. Yeah, I need to move on. But at the end of the episode, when Obi-Wan gets away, spoilers, because he's not going to die. He just lets him. He
just like
without doing much. Vader essentially gives up
like
from
fire.
Something. Yeah, from fire. Even though he like
2 seconds earlier, like extinguished the. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm just like, brother.
Okay, we'll do a couple more questions here. The counselor says, pick one superpower that also comes with a curse. Read mind for 10 seconds, followed by a mind grade for 10 hours. Teleport up to 1 mile, but immediately vomit afterwards. Or stop time for 10 seconds, then immediately pass out for 10 minutes. The teleport 1 mile.
But then what's the repercussion? I
vomit.
For how long?
Just you vomit right afterwards. So I guess however long you're...
But that's only a mile.
That's far though, dude. Like I could do a lot with a mile.
I couldn't even... I might be able to get to my grocery store.
I can get to my gym. Like everything in my world is about a mile radius, you know? Like...
Yeah, but versus what? Like an 8-minute drive? For me, my grocery store's like a 5-minute drive.
I'm taking teleport still.
Because then if you're like, okay, well, I want to go long
so you want a
distances.
headache for 10 hours for just reading someone's mind for 10 seconds? It's a long time. That's a long mind.
I have to choose between them?
Yeah, you have to choose those 3.
Okay, I'd probably do mind reading and then just never do it.
Just never do it.
Or very situationally, but be like, just real hard-hitting questions. Like, what are the nuclear launch codes? That's the moment I use it, you know? But then, like, all the others, I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah. Glade says, hey guys, it's been Men's Mental Health Month, and I want to say thank you all for being very open about your mental health struggles. As for a question, what is the worst tattoo you've ever seen on somebody, and does anyone you know have one that they really regret? I mean, my stepmom had like a Winnie the Pooh one that she got actually covered up on her foot. So she worst tattoo. I mean, I've only seen like bad tattoos on the internet where it's like cum dumpster and it's like on the back. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I've never seen one in person that is just like trash.
I don't know that many people with tats. I haven't seen that many tattoos in real life, or like people close to me. So yeah, I've seen bad ones, but they're all online or heard of.
I do think I've seen like a guy who was a skinhead, and I think he had like an Aryan eagle on his head, but he was like in jail. So,
yeah, and then I don't know anyone that has regretted a tattoo. Again, I don't know that many people have gotten them, but generally, especially the more tattoos somebody have, I feel like they're less likely to regret them because they're like something they like. And, yeah, but like if it's something like one thing or something, and somebody's like, that was like a weird decision, and then those are usually the people who are like,
I mean, sure, when I'm 40, am I really going to be hyped about having this Irwin Smith? I have no fucking clue, but I think it looks sick.
True.
And
you don't regret it yet.
So. Yeah, so we'll see. Catch me in 10 years. I'll answer that question in 10 years. We'll do 2 more questions. Mob, out of the 3 of you, who would win in a fight to the death? My money's on Blue, maybe Fruit if he isn't currently hearing colors. You were hearing colors?
No, it is crazy, dude. You have to listen to it.
Well, hey, dude, crazy. I was a 9/11 veteran, my man. You know, like,
but like the way I put it was like all those weird tropes and things you hear from people tripping. It's like, dude, like the colors and like it felt like I was floating and flying, and you're like, what? I understand it all now. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, that's what they mean.
My bet would probably be, I don't know, probably on me just because I'm a savage.
What kind of fight to the death though? Like, just
I don't know. I just think
is it like, just fisticuffs?
Like,
kind of
yeah, maybe. I'm biting your guys' face off. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
I think Blue.
Oh, you think Blue?
I think it's the weight classes. When you come down to like stuff like that, especially like pure strength.
He is way taller than us, so
yeah, he's like a foot taller too.
Yeah,
it's unfair. Everybody, we're gonna meet Joey, dude. He's like 6'1" or something, 6'2". Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's that tall?
We're just the short kings in the group.
Oh no, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. We'll stop with this last question here from Crystal. We'll catch up on the next ones. What is the number 1 thing on your bucket list as of today?
Never really thought of it. I don't really have a bucket list.
I don't either. I don't know. Join a competitive soccer league, I guess.
Finally,
how tall are Fruit? And Rob said in the chat, I'm like 6'6". Christian's like 6'5", something like that.
Something casual.
Yeah, I forget. If I was 6'2", I'd rule the world. I don't know. I'm like, I say I'm a gentleman's 5'9", but I'm probably a true 5'8". Like,
I'm 5'9.5", but some places will just round that up to 5'10".
Oh. Okay.
So depends on.
So you're a gentleman's 5. You're a gentleman's 5'10".
Yeah, I'm a gentleman's 5'10".
I like that. Yeah. See, I say gentleman's 5'9" because a true gentleman lets me pass if I say I'm 5'9". They go,
yes.
All right.
Well, yeah. We'll take it.
All right, but that'll do it for the GG Over Easy podcast. Thank you guys all for listening to episode 137, I think you said it was.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure next episode, Blue will be making his return. I hope he's okay. Thank you guys all for listening. Please like that smash button. So like the smash button, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Deuces.